How you doing, Duff here? And you might just see me, depending on how avid of a watcher you are, you might just see my video of my latest one-wheel ride where I traveled at least 11 miles, maybe 12, on a hot ride out there. And I talked about on that ride how I had just received some accessories for my one wheel. And in this case, it is the Fender kit. Very cool. And I actually have another accessory for the one wheel here. And that is these, I believe the proper name is float plates from Craft and Ride. These are the primary design of these or function of these is to give you a very slippery surface. If you're a more advanced rider where you like jump on things and slide on things with your one wheel. I am not that type of rider. I've only had my one wheel for a couple of weeks and I have no prior snowboarding or skateboarding background, so I'm definitely not an advanced rider. But the reason I got these, oh wow, I'm gonna give you a ton of stickers. The reason I got these, and these you have to specify the model for the XR when you order them. But anyways, the reason I got these is just to give you some extra protection for my board, really. It reinforces that bottom area where all the electronics is and the battery, so I thought that sounded like a smart idea. So I install this. Now, one of the things I mentioned on my ride was I wanted to see if I'd be able to get some measurements off this so I could 3D print something similar. And I'm thinking just eyeballing this that it might be a little bit too long, but I'm going to get some measurements anyways. It looks like it's about 315 millimeters long from end to end. Now that the holes themselves are not that far apart, the holes are about 280. So my biggest format printers have a XY height or XY size of roughly 300. So I may be able to make something that works. Yeah, I might be able to do this actually. I'll do some more precise measurements later, but yeah, it's in the ballpark. It would take every millimeter of my build surface, but I might be able to do it. It would be fun to try at least, right? Alright, so this gibberish are my measurements, my rough measurements, my sketch, to give me an idea if it'll fit or not. So probably what I'll do is I would just sketch something like on the a few millimeters high, just to get like the hole position set up, and maybe I can get that to work. What I could definitely get to work is if I've seen some designs where they just do like kind of like third fenders, where they like cut it here and here, just to get the stuff that comes flying off the wheel and the top isn't covered. So I could definitely do that, but I would really like to take a shot at doing a whole fender, and it would probably have to print on its side to make it work. And it wouldn't look quite like this. Like this actually kind of tapers towards the middle. I'd have a hard time emulating that. I would probably have to have it be the same width the whole way up, and yeah, so yeah, it's worth a shot. Alright, so let's get around to installing this. So the Fender kit, I don't see any instructions per se, but I think I can figure it out. On the one wheel there's 4 bolts here, 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 and here that I assume come out, and there's another set of bolts that's included with it. Yeah, it basically says just remove the 4 there to there and put the 4 there that gives you in its place. And it says caution, it may be tight. I have metric Allen heads with this T-wrench here. I said that there's some Loctite on these, so okay. No, they're not that hard to turn out. It looks like these screws don't really serve any purpose unless you put a fender on. I think these are basically just hole fillers right now. You know, one good thing about this is today I had an issue getting off the wheel, coming to a stop, and nosedived and had the wheel skid out, and this tire Oh wow. The tire ground into my my ankle. That's interesting. I have a couple. Can you see this? I have a couple holes in this tire. Little holes. Okay, here's one. Here's one. Here's one. What the heck? Is this normal? This has to be normal because they look evenly. They're evenly placed. A hole, a hole, a hole, a hole. I'm sure someone will tell me, but yeah, I did not notice that before. Yeah, weird. All right, well, someone just confirmed to me that that's normal, but it looks like it has to be. All right, so here's my new bolts. If you compare new to old, you can see there's a significant length difference. Alright, so we're just gonna... interesting, yeah, so this actually, the lip actually sits up on top of the board itself. Hi Elsa, go ahead. Elsa's here with me. Hi baby. Alright, so we're using these longer screws. We're gonna screw these in. Definitely not rocket science. I will not tighten these all the way until I have all four started. You do want to make sure that they're threaded in there straight, so you're not cross-threading and stripping and all that kind of fun stuff. This one actually had a little bit of plastic left over in the mold. I had to kind of just punch through it there. Alright, here's my last one. And again, same deal. Well, maybe not. Alright, just need to use a little bit more down pressure to get that to engage the threads. Alright, so we're just going around tightening it up. I'm not torquing it to a ridiculous amount, just snug. There you go. Let's take this off. Ta-da! To be honest, I kind of like the exposed tire look, but I think practicality-wise, this is a much better option, definitely, and safety-wise, and pebble and water spray-wise. All right, so let's look at the bottom. Let's look at these float plates now. So I have the bumpers installed here. I assume these must just, none of this stuff would come off. This basically just sits on top, I assume. Yeah, because you wouldn't take the bumper off. You need that bumper. I'm not reading instructions, but I'm assuming this is correct. This would go here. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so again, they give you a set of longer screws for this. And it does have kind of instructions in here. It says replace your stock screws with extra long screws. Start all the screws in the nut before tightening. Alright. Makes sense. And again, I'm going to use my T driver because that's definitely faster than using a conventional Allen wrench. Same size. I think I read somewhere that all the screws in here, the vast majority of these Allen screws are all the same size. Which is kind of nice. I do have a little bit of scraping here in the bottom of my bumper from my various mishaps. Nothing horrible, but a few. This should protect this part of the wheel or the board from damage. And of course I'll keep all my old screws and stuff just in case, you know. I never get rid of any hardware from any of my electric unicycles or the one wheel. I would just keep it all. Alright, there we go. Get those off. Let's compare old to new as far as height. You can see the, maybe you can, maybe you can't see the difference here. It looks like it might be an extra 1/4 inch in length, something like that. So both of these sides feel equally shiny, but you obviously want to line up the cutouts here. As advised, I'm just going to get them all started, but not tightened. I don't know why I'm doing a video on this, because if you can't figure out how to put on these float plates or the fender, I don't know, you got some problems. Pretty simple. Seems almost the same as screwing in a light bulb. And of course I say that, and then someone's going to comment in the video that I'm doing this wrong somehow. Alright, so all four are started, so now I'm just going to go around and turn them in. I'm still looking at those holes in the rubber on the tire. I'm just scratching my head what that's about. I don't remember anyone ever mentioning that before, but they're definitely at the exact same spacing, so it has to be normal, but I will ask about it for sure. Or hopefully someone can just comment in the video and just tell me, hey, yeah, that's normal. I have little offsetting holes. Alright, so that side, that's done. Let's do the second side. Again, it's pretty obvious when you look at it as far as the way that it aligns. They actually give you 2 extra screws. Guess that's nice. Okay, all 4 are started. Now I'm just tightening them up. I'm just going until it's snug. I mean, it feels like I could crank on this a lot more, but I don't know that I should. There you go. They're both on. So now I'm ready to crash a lot more. That's great. Got the fender on. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's almost half the price of the Craft and Ride fender, but this is fine for me. You know, I'll probably wind up putting like EUC Army stickers on it and other stuff to dress it up, so this is fine for me. And if I 3D print one, it'll be even cooler. Alright, so there you go. That's how I installed my one-wheel fender and my float plates on my one-wheel XR Plus, or one-wheel Plus XR, I guess is the official way to say it. I had a couple of people ask me how my 3D printed one-wheel stand has been working out, and so far so good. Holds it just fine, feels very strong. I haven't noticed any problems as far as durability goes, but I want to do a lot more testing before I would consider putting this out in the store to sell, just because I don't want to sell something that doesn't hold up. So I need to use this for at least a month or so and just make sure that it's good and durable. Although it does feel very, very substantial, so I think I'll be okay, but we'll make sure. So that's all I got for you for now. I like my new fender, and I like my one wheel. You know, as a two-year EUC rider, the one wheel has really been giving me some new experiences, and I like it so far. So if you found this video interesting or helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time viewing the channel, please consider subscribing for one-wheel content, electric unicycle content, car repair content, miscellaneous content. You never know what kind of content you're going to get on my channel. Please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, suggestions, maybe some answers for some of the questions I threw out, feel free to leave them below. I do take the time to read every comment on my videos. And that's all I got for you for now. Until next time, definitely out.